Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome again to the channel of Madiskarteng Ilocano. Ang channel na ito ay isang educational vlog para sa kursong Criminology. Sa araw na ito ay meron tayong dalawang topic na pag-uusapan. Ito ay ang defense of stranger at saka yung isa naman ay state of necessity o sometimes we call it avoidance of greater evil or injury. Ang mga topic natin ngayong araw ay karugtong lamang ng mga nauna nating pagtalakay. So kung hindi nyo pa napapanood ang mga video na yan, ilalagay natin ang link dito sa ating description box. So, ang dalawang topic natin ngayong araw ay tungkol sa justifying circumstances. Tulad ng nauna nating pagtalakay, ang justifying circumstances ay circumstances wherein the act of the person is considered to be in accordance with law. Therefore, there is no criminal and there is no civil liability to be imposed against the accused. Okay, so para higit natin itong maintindihan, umpisa na nating talakayin ang una nating topic ngayong araw at ito ay defense of stranger. So ano ba itong defense of stranger? Under Article 11, Paragraph 3 of the Revised Penal Code, ito ang nakasaad. Justifying circumstances, the following do not incur any criminal liability. So maliwanag sa preliminary statement ng Article 11, sinasabi the following, okay, do not incur criminal liability. Let's proceed to paragraph 3. Anyone who acts in defense of the person or rights of a stranger, provided that the first and second requisites mentioned in the first circumstance of this article are present, and that the person defending be not induced by revenge, resentment, or other evil motive. So ito yung tinatawag nating defense of stranger. Any person who act in defense of the right or person of the stranger. So, sino ba itong mga stranger na tinatawag natin? Okay? Ang salitang stranger sa ating batas ay mayroong special meaning. Okay? Ang stranger ay yung mga tao na hindi kasama sa ating mga relatives. Nung una nating pagtalakay, natalakay natin yung mga relatives. So, outside of that relatives, ang category naman ng mga tao ito ay tinatawag nating stranger. So, kung gusto nyong malaman kung sino yung ating mga relatives, balikan nyo na lamang yung video nandito sa ating description box at lahat ng mga tao na hindi napasama sa relatives ay tinatawag nating stranger. So tulad din ng defense of relatives at self-defense, meron ding tatlong elements ang defense of stranger. Una, yung unlawful aggression. Pangalawa, yung reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it. Pangatlo, that the person defending be not induced by revenge, resentment, or other evil motive. Okay, so unahin nating balikan muli ang ating discussion sa unlawful aggression. Sinasabi natin noon sa mga nauna nating pagtalakay na kapag unlawful aggression, ibig sabihin that is equivalent to assault o kaya ay attack. Okay, so maliwanag yan, assault or attack ang ibig sabihin ng aggression. At kapag sinabi nating unlawful, hindi ito naaayon sa batas. Mayroon tayong dalawang klase ng unlawful aggression. Mayroon tayong actual unlawful aggression at yung pangalawa naman ay immediate or imminent. Okay, so para higit natin itong maintindihan, tingnan natin yung isang kaso. Ito yung kaso ng People versus Kabungkal, 51 Philippine Report 803. So in this case, the accused invited several persons for a picnic. Okay, so inimbitahan nila yung mga tao para mag-picnic. So in the afternoon, nung sila na ay pauwi, lulan ng dalawang bangka. Yung isang bangka ay steered by the accused at meron siyang siyam na pasahero on board. Kasama na dito yung kanyang asawa at ang isang anak. Karamihan dito ay mga babae at meron pang isang nursing child. Okay, nung kasama rin pala dito sa bangka ng akusado yung biktima. So, nung nasa malalim na sila ng parte ng anyong tubig na ito, si Juan Loquinario, siya yung biktima dito, started to rock the boat. Okay? Hinuga-uga niya itong bangka to the extent na pumapasok na sa loob ng bangka yung tubig. Kaya ang sabi ng akusado, ito yung nagsasagwan sa bangka to stop Loquinario what he is doing. Pero itong si Loquinario ay hindi nakinig. Okay? The accused struck the victim on the forehead using an oar. Okay? Dahil dito, nahulog sa tubig itong biktima when he resurfaced, imbes na ihinto ang kanyang ginagawa, ay lalo lamang nitong na-trigger para iuga ulit itong bangka. And nagbanta pa siya that he will going to capsize the boat and started it to move. Kaya yung mga pasahero ng bangka na yan ay started to shout and scream for help. Kaya ang ginawa ng akusado ay he strike again the victim, by this time in his neck. Because of this, the victim died. Okay, so sinampahan ng kaso itong akusado dahil sa pagkamatay ng biktima. So ang sabi naman ng akusado is that is a defense of stranger and at the same time defense of relatives kasi nandun niya yung kanyang anak at ang kanyang asawa. Okay, so kinatigan naman siya ng korte. So what the victim did is considered as unlawful aggression. Okay, so tama lamang na ginawa ito ng akusado para ma-save yung mga pasahero from the possibility na baka lumubog ang bangka. So, in this case, the accused is acquitted for the crime charge. Okay, so mahalagang bigyan pansin natin dito yung pangatlong element, that the person defending be not induced by revenge, resentment, or other evil motive. So, dapat kapag ginamit natin itong defense of a stranger, it's see to it that we do it out of generous motive to save the life of the stranger. Hindi dahil tayo ay gustong maghiganti, that is what we call revenge, or other evil motive. So, ang malimit na tinatanong dito is, what if you have a standing road between the victim before the incident happened? Can you still use the provision of the justifying circumstance on defense of a stranger? The answer is yes. Even though you have an outstanding grudge between the victim in previous days, you can still use the principle of defense of relatives, provided that in doing so, your intention and purpose is a generous motive to save the life of the stranger. Hindi dahil sa ikaw ay naghiganti. So, that is all about a defense of stranger. So, hindi na natin tatalakayin yung second element, reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it, kasi na-discuss na natin ito sa mga una nating pagtalakay. Anyway, ang link ng video na yan ay nandito sa ating description box. Okay, so let's proceed to another topic. Avoidance of greater evil or injury. So, paano ba to? Let us read Article 11, Paragraph 4. Any person who, in order to avoid an evil or injury, does an act which causes damage to another, provided that the following requisites are present. Number 1, that the evil sought to be avoided actually exists. Number 2, that the injury feared be greater than that done to avoid it. And the third one is that there be no other practical and less harmful means of preventing it. So, kapag sinabi natin avoidance of greater or injury, sometimes tinatawag din ito sa batas na state of necessity. Okay? In this kind of circumstance, the purpose of the accused here is to avoid an evil or injury, but it cannot be avoided that in doing such act, he causes damage to another. Ang question nito is, are you criminally liable to the injury or damage caused to another by reason of avoiding a greater injury or evil? So, ang sabi ng batas, in that kind of situation, the accused cannot be held criminally liable. For example, a person driving his car in a narrow street with due care and diligence. Take note the word due care and diligence. Mahalaga kasi ito. Then all of the sudden, there is a 6x6 truck in front of his car. Okay? He need to decide to avoid that injury. If he will going to swerve to the right, he will going to fall in the precipice. Ito yung bangin. If he will going to swerve to the left, he will going to sacrifice the life of the bystander. Okay? So, in that situation, he need now to choose between going to right or going to left. If he will going to right, definitely he will going to die. But if he will going to left, definitely he will going to survive, but the life of the bystander will going to be sacrificed. So, kung ako ang driver sa sitwasyon na iyan, I will going to swerve to the left, sacrificing the life of the bystander. Okay? So, ang tanong ngayon is, am I criminally liable for the death of the bystander? The answer is not. My act is considered as justified. Ito yung sinasabi ng paragraph 4, article 11, avoidance of greater evil or injury. Tignan natin ang sitwasyon na ito kung pasok ba sa tatlong elements. Okay? Una, that the evil sought to be avoided actually exists. So, pasok yung element number 1 or requisite number 1 kasi all of the sudden nandyan na yung 6x6 track and he need to act immediately. Okay, so pasok yung element number 1. Okay, next element is next element or requisite is requisite number 2. Ano naman ang sinasabi ng requisite number 2? That the injury feared be greater than to avoid it. Ang tanong, anong mas mahalaga? Ang buhay ng driver o ang buhay ng bystander? Okay? So, ang sabi ni Reyes sa kanyang libro, the instinct of self-preservation will always make one feel that his own safety is of greater importance than that of another. So, tama lamang daw na ma-sacrifice ang buhay ng bystander kasi because of our self-preservation, our own safety is more important than the life of another. So, pasok yung element number 2. Mas mahalaga daw ang buhay natin ikumpara sa buhay ng bystander in that kind of situation. Okay? Number 3, that there be no other practical and less harmful means of preventing it. Tama. So, mayroon lamang siyang dalawang option. Ang less practical dyan is yung going to swerve to the left. Kasi kapag going to the right, sigurado life of the driver will be sacrificed. Lalo na kung dumidiretso siya, 6x6 truck yan, definitely he will going to die. So, the less harmful means to prevent an evil or injury is going to the left, but very unfortunate, a life is being sacrificed. But, sabi nga dito sa paragraph 4, that is considered as a state of necessity, avoidance of greater evil or injury. So, in that way, the driver cannot be held criminally liable. So, para higit natin itong maintindihan, another example is the doctor. Okay? Killing a fetus is a crime of abortion. Okay? So, the doctor killed the fetus for purposes of saving the life of the mother. Is the doctor liable for abortion? The answer is not. Because that is considered as a state of necessity, avoidance of greater evil or injury. Sacrificing the life of the fetus just to save the life of the mother is in accordance with law. So, interesting to note here ay yung kaso ni People versus Rico Hermoso et al. 56 Iskra page 431. Yung Iskra na sinasabi dyan is Supreme Court Report Annotated. Okay, so ano ba ang tungkol sa kasong ito? Okay, so sa kasong ito, si Piolo na may hawak na itak at saka si Sibero na may hawak na palakol, attack and wounded Himiniano. Tamang-tama naman na dumating yung anak ni Himiniano na may dalang baril. Okay? Pero hindi niya ito naiputok kasi he was able to embrace by one. Kaya ang resulta, namatay si Himiniano. Kaya sinampahan ng kasong murder si Piolo, si Biro at saka si Juan. Okay? So baka magtaka kayo, sir, bakit naman sinama si Juan? hindi naman siya kasama sa pag-attack at pagpatay kay Gimignano. Tatalakayin natin yan when we go to our next topic, person who are criminally liable for felony. So in the meantime, ay hindi muna natin itatakal yung rason kung bakit napasama dyan si Juan. So ayun na nga, si Piolo, si Sibero at saka si Juan ay kinasuhan ng murder. Pero ang sabi ni Juan, para siya ay ma-acquit, that is avoidance of greater evil or injury. Ang pagyakap niya sa anak ni Gimignano ay for purposes of avoiding greater or evil injury. Just imagine kapag naiputok raw niya yung kanyang baril, mamamatay si Sibero at saka si Piolo. Okay? So ang tanong dito is, tama ba na ma-acquit si Juan sa kanyang ginawa? Okay? Ito ba ay isang example ng state of necessity under paragraph 4 of Article 11 of the Revised Penal Code? Ang sabi ng korte ay hindi. So, Juan is criminally liable. Hindi niya pwedeng gamitin ang paragraph 4 of Article 11. Reason? Because there is no evil or injury sought to be avoided. Ang sitwasyon kasi rito, paano kung nabaril ng anak ni Gimignano si Piolo at saka si Sibero? Is that considered as an evil? The answer is no. That is allowed by law, defense of relatives. So, ang pagyakap sa kanya ni Juan ay hindi maituturing na pumasok yung provision ng Article 11, paragraph 4. Therefore, Juan is also guilty for the crime of murder. So, another example, paano naman yung escape convict na nagnakaw ng mga damit sa sampayan? Ang purpose niya ay para hindi siya makilala na takas sa bilangguan. Kaya nung siya'y mahuli, sinampahan ng kasong theft. Ang sabi niya, state of necessity, avoidance of greater evil or injury. Is that considered as a state of necessity? The answer is no. Kasi ang sabi dito, the evil which brought about a greater evil must not result from a violation of law by the actor. So, hindi katanggap-tanggap ang sitwasyon na yan. Okay? So, ito ang sinasabi ng ating batas tungkol sa state of necessity. So, hanggang dito na lang ang ating pagtalakay sa araw na ito. Sana ay mayroon kayong napulot na aral sa ating ginawang discussion. Ang susunod nating pagkikita ay tatalakayin naman natin ang dalawang natitirang justifying circumstances. Ito ay ang performance of duty or the lawful exercise of the right or office, at yung isa naman ay obedience to the lawful order of the superior officer. So, dalawa na lang ang natitirang justifying circumstances na ating tatalakayin sa susunod na pagkakataon. So, hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
Please subscribe and hit the notification bell to be updated of my new videos.